Hello, my treasures. It's time to speak with the trees with Treant Druid. The idea behind this is we're going to be swarming the board with our early game Treant cards, then also using things like Puppet Master Dorian in order to get us a 1-cost copy of Ancient of Growth to turn those Treants into 5/5s with Taunt. Then also having a backup plan of clearing out the board through a combination of Magical Dollhouse and Swipe. We also have Greybough in the deck as a way to make our boards a little bit stickier than a normal Treant Druid deck would have. Now, for the Mulligan guide of the deck, you are going to be looking for Brace of Nature in order to draw into either Ancient of Growth or Drum Circle, Forest Seedlings as a way to get some minions online quickly, draw power cards, or Magical Dollhouse and Swipe as a way to clear out your opponent's board. Now, with all being said, let's look at some games. Okay, time for a game against Druid. Well, let's see what it is. Also, now it's the beginning of the month, which means it's time for a ladder climb. Let's see how well this goes for us. All right, get rid of those 2 cards, keeping Dollhouse just in case. Malfurion's Gift is pretty good because we kept the Dollhouse. I know there's a few different Druid decks floating around right now. I don't know. Technically, Owl Druid could be bad if they can get the combo online before we can get our Treants online. But they don't really have a way to clear out the board. Dragon Druid is, I guess, kind of bad also just because of the fact that they do have access to Reno. There's no building around Reno, right? Just slam this down. Few plays that we can do. I don't actually like any of them, to be fair, but like let's just go face. We are kind of an aggro deck. I mean, we're kind of a control deck with aggro tools. It's complicated. This deck is actually quite complicated for what it actually is. I do think Treant Druid is missing, like, I don't know, some type of way to make the Treants a little bit more sticky, and then it would be probably pretty decent. I don't think Soul of the Forest is in rotation. If it was, I would be running it, probably. But like a cheaper Soul of the Forest would probably make this deck actually feel a lot more flexible than it currently is. Now, what do we want to do here? We are at 4 mana. We could waste a Malfurion's Gift. But I kind of want to go for Wild Growth. I was thinking about maybe using Swipe there off of the Malfurion's Gift, but I don't think it's worth it. Actually, no, that wouldn't have cleared. Oh, no, it would have. Would have done 4 damage to face, or 5 damage to face it, then 2 damage to the minion. I'm kind of waiting because I think it is going to be Dragon Druid where they are a Reno deck. So if they slam down like a Dragon Golem, then that would have, like, if we keep a Swipe for later, that's going to be good. Let's slam down Greybough. Great thing here is our opponent won't have a response to that, and basically this will allow us to just snowball from here. Some of the early versions of the deck, I was using Kraken in order to get additional copies of Greybough, but by the time you could get that combo online, I think it's turn 8, right? And then turn 9, people are just going to slam down Reno, and then you cry because the multiple Greyboughs you set up just go poof. If we summon 2 more of those. Now, here's also the little bit of anti-synergy that you'll notice. Ancient of Growth, when you have a Greybough on rotation, kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. It's one of those things that you're just like, man, I wish we had access to... I wish the Death Rattle would, like, transfer after it got transformed, but it is what it is. There's... We're at 8 mana. Drum Circle sounds like a better idea. I was thinking about doing it in the opposite way, but yeah, this is just better. Let's go face one last time. Oh, let's... Nope, they don't have Reno in there. Oh, 2 mana off. Hey, there's the Dragon Golem I was talking about earlier. We don't have a swipe. We can't swipe right. I don't know where my brain was going there. Come on. Well, we can get rid of as many minions as we want. Transform. And I'm just grabbing the one additional armor just in case. There might be a situation where that 1 HP could actually matter in the long run, right? Hey. Swipe, swipe, swipe. And say goodbye, bye, bye to your HP. Okay, time for a game against Warrior. Also worth mentioning, this will be recorded probably way before this video actually goes up at the end of the month, though I do have a different deck that may or may not take precedence over this one just because I think the other deck will be a lot funnier, but you never know. We'll see what the order actually is. Our hand actually doesn't look that bad. Warrior's an interesting matchup because it is one of the worst matchups that we have, just because of the fact that they can easily get rid of Greybough. The problem with the Greybough combo, at least currently, is Reno. However, Warrior right now is like the only class that is really playing Reno, though that can easily change once we go into the next month. I will say this, the current Hearthstone meta is one of those where nothing feels really, really overpowered. Maybe Paladin, because there are a few different Paladin lists, but like Paladin just feels like it's the same deck that we've been seeing for I don't know how many months at this point. So it's hard to see if it's because I'm bored of just playing against Paladin or playing Paladin, or it's the meta being out of balance. I'm pretty sure it's just I'm bored of playing against Paladin, to be fair, at this point. Now this, I guess they're Bomb Warrior. That's interesting. I did start out with, when I made my Bomb Warrior list, I did start out using the 3-drop. Ended up cutting it just because it didn't feel consistent enough. I don't know. It's one of those things, right? There's a lot of little iterations that I go through with a lot of the decks that I end up showcasing on the channel and such. That, oh, well, that's interesting. Like, for example, this is another great example of a deck where I tried out a bunch of different ideas, but then I ended up going with this weird mix between a Treant Druid and like a Control Druid list where we're trying to use the Magical Dollhouse and such to finish off our opponents. Well, control the board state so we can actually afford to use some of the late game Treant support. I will also say this, there are some decks that I really want to try out. I know I just said I am really sick of Paladin. There is a Paladin deck that I really want to showcase on the channel. I just know it's going to do bad because it's going to be a Paladin list. But we may or may not eventually get to it. There's a really funny idea that I had for like a Call for Arrow Paladin list where we're using like Leroy and Call for Arrow as our only 2 minions. But, you know, we'll see if I can come up with something with that. I think the next deck is going to be a Replicate in a 8-or deck. I don't know where exactly. I have a few ideas. Paladin was one of them, but again, I'm afraid that it'll probably do bad, but it's what it is. The thing that I'm really looking at, I think, is either DK or Warlock. I don't know which, but one of the other sounds like a maybe not a good idea, but maybe not a bad idea. I don't know. we'll see, right? Of course they had Sanitize. That's one of the reasons why I said this matchup is probably one of the worst ones that we could possibly have. Okay, let's use Pennant. A lot of options. I kind of want to go for Durian. I need to see if the synergy actually works how I want it to work. I haven't really play tested this version as much as some of the other variants that I've tried. But I ended up cutting a lot of the early game minions just because I was like, well, if we ran Durian, then we can easily, like, I don't know. There's reasons for it. Okay, there's Tank Up. They're just going to get in the face damage. Okay, let's use Dorian. See what we can grab. Cultivation isn't bad, and then we can grab Ancient, I guess. Then just pass it. We can use one Ancient and then summon the other Ancient and then transform everything if we really need to. Oh! Trial of Fire. Okay, well. We don't really have a way to deal with that, do we? We could also use Drum Circle to get 5 and then use the 1 cost. I'm trying to think of how we want to do this. We're at 10 mana. We probably don't have a way to clear out the board. We can clear out like 2 if we really feel like it, but I don't know if that's actually worth it. Yeah, let's go with the 5 minions and then slam down the 1 cost. Part of me is like, well, no, never mind. Let's play a little bit greedy and not use the cultivations here. I have a sneaking suspicion they'll probably have Reno Jackson in hand, or a Brawl is just as bad. See, this is why we don't use cultivation before we, at least in this matchup, right? There are other matchups where we probably could get away with it, but I don't think Warrior is one of them. Let's draw a few cards. Okay. Can we... Oh, we can actually make this work pretty well. Just get in the 5 base damage, though. Okay. Belling Flames. That gets rid of our board, which sucks, but it is what it is. I think we're just going to do it like this. That could wipe out our board. I think we have multiple plays here, to be honest. Let's pop that. Try to clear out some of the board. We can get another one. Hopefully this doesn't destroy us, right? Can use the 2. I kind of just want to use 1. Probably should have done that in the opposite order, but it is what it is. I can't go back on it now. Okay, come on. The trees speak to me. 1 off of lethal. That's a shame. I will say, from what I've tested, Dr. Boom is one of those cards that you don't expect to do a lot, but like, if you're playing an aggro deck... Oh, no. Let's get rid of this. Now, I have noticed as time has went on, this list has actually become more and more like ramp based. It's probably because like a lot of the good Treant support is high cost, and thanks to our good friend Dorian here, we don't have to actually cost or cast it or use it for its original cost. Also, there are cases where it can actually come up where we use Innovate plus the coin and a few other cards in order to like, oh, well, swipe. All right, let's get rid of one of the minions. But there has been a few cases where we can get a early drum circle that we drew off of Embrace of Nature, and then it just wins us the game. Like, it has come up through testing. I've played actually quite a bit of this deck. Honestly, like, I'll probably use this to grind out until, like, Diamond, probably, and then we'll see. I don't know. It uses a card that I've been really wanting to use, which is Greybough. Also using a package that I've been wanting to use for a while, which is Treants. Just overall fun deck to try out, right? Okay, they're just gonna go face. Let's use the the second swipe. And goodbye to your board. Let's get rid of one of the minions here too, just so we don't have to take the face damage for 1 damage. I guess we could have just done that. It would have probably been better to trade because those will be destroyed at the end of the turn. Honestly, out of all the cards that are from the mini set, that's one of the ones that, like, I'm most impressed by. I'm assuming the reason why it feels so strong. I don't know. I haven't played much DK since the mini set has come out, to be honest. But like, it's one of those cards that definitely feels a lot stronger than I originally had thought it was going to feel like. Question: let's swarm the board. Hopefully they don't have the 3-drop. Please don't have the 3-drop that has the finale on it, please. Okay, come on. Don't have it. Don't have it. Don't have it. Don't have it. Ooh, that could have been a lot worse. Well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, could it have been worse? Let's draw a bunch of cards. Come on, it's good. Innovate. Oh, ancient isn't bad. Oh, yeah. Let's grab Greybough, I guess. We can coin, get swipe 1 out, get rid of that minion, and then just keep the 4 treants up, and then we just don't want them to have any AoE, please. What tap? Oh, rid of Greybough number 1, draw a few more cards. If we had like 1 more mana, those would have been useful. Hopefully they attack into our Greybough, and then we get it on one of the other minions, and then just snowball from there. Honestly, the smart play would be just pass the turn back to us, and then take the probably 4 damage to face. Because this is probably going to end up wiping out our 2/1s and probably the 2/2. Knowing my luck, that's probably what's going to end up happening. Hey! Oh! That's bad. Come on. Don't steal the one with the token. Let's go! Okay, somehow we gotta do 8 damage to face. We're at 7 mana. Let's grab this. Like, we really want to get rid of Rezka, but I kind of just want to go face, too. This is a lot harder. Okay. And then we can... Yeah. Put as many bodies on board as humanly possible, and hopefully they don't destroy everything, right? Okay, we only need 4 damage. We basically need Malfurion's Gift or another swipe, and then we win the game. Come on, game. Top deck would be really, really nice. I'm assuming they'll use Rezka to attack into one of the bigger... Or they're going to repeat this. Come on, test our luck. Oh, well, I mean, they get it finally. It only took them the entire game. 2 turns. But, come on. Top deck of the century. Let's go. Oh, man. That must feel horrible. GG. Alright, now that we're through the game, so let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. So, the deck had a 45% win rate across the 50 games that I ended up playing with the deck. It was much higher than I originally had wanted to play with the deck, but I wanted to get some additional replays of using Puppet Master Dorian in combination with Ancient of Growth. However, as I found out through testing, sadly this interaction didn't work as well as I had originally expected. One of the earliest games, I guess I had a Disciple of ENR online when I drew into the Ancient of Growth with a Puppet Master on board, which made it look like the synergy actually worked really well. So if you haven't actually got the mini set, then you can easily swap out the Dorian for another Disciple, as it won't matter too much. However, it is still kind of important just so you can have easy access to a 1-cost copy of either Ancient of Growth or a Greybough in order to overwhelm your opponent with a bunch of big minions really quickly on. Overall, if you've been looking for a deck that is very on theme for Treants, then this is a great one for you to try out. However, if you're looking for something to climb ladder, maybe skip out on this one. Now, with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.